1 Peter, 21st book of the New Testament. In verse 3 of the first chapter, we get the key to this book. It's kind of like, a lot of people leave the key to their house by the front door. I mean, all robbers know that. You just look under the mat, you look under the pot, you look over the top, you look in the mailbox, you look in one of those magnet things, They're smart. Well, God leaves the key to a lot of the books in the front door of the book. Acts 1:8, Revelation 1:19. There's so many of them like that give that. Well, here's one. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to his abundant mercy, hath begotten us again unto a living hope through the resurrection of Christ from the dead. Christ, our victory over suffering. These people were suffering intensely. This was written in the 60s. If you remember, the persecutions were three in the Roman Empire. There were three levels of persecution. First, there was kind of local, sporadic. That was in the 60s. Then, a little bit later in the first century, it became provincial. That's when they used to clean out a whole province of Christians. Finally, by the 4th century, it became empire-wide, actually the end of the 3rd century. So they were still in the sporadic local persecution, and so there was one going on to the elect scattered throughout Pontus and Galatia and Cappadocia and Asia and Bithynia, which is who Peter wrote to. And he said these people were getting persecuted, and so he says he will give you a living hope, one that helps you see Christ as our victory over suffering. Look at 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 16, because there's a different problem when he started writing 2 Peter, and that was that kind of like in between the waves of persecution, false teachers were coming. And so 2 Peter says Christ is our victory over error. 1:16 he says, for we did not follow cunningly devised fables when we made known to you the power and the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. But we, he said, were eyewitnesses of his majesty. Do you know what? To the end of his life, he couldn't forget the transfiguration. He couldn't forget that Jesus, the man, pulled back the veil and showed Jesus, the God. And he never could forget that. And to the end of his life, he says, I was an eyewitness. And 2 Peter and Jude are so much alike. Many wonder why they're both needed in the New Testament. But the Spirit of God inspired both, and both should be studied. And both deal with an urgent and insidious, dangerous heresy that threatened the very lives of believers. And Peter said the key to stability is, and that's the verses prior to this 16th verse, 5 through 11, said, if you know God, you'll have stability and growth. And if there's anything that's important for us, it is having a personal knowledge of the Lord through his word. That's the key to stability and growth, and that's how to overcome false teaching.